Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to do something really exciting. We're going to fundamentally shift how you look at intelligence. We're breaking down the actual mechanics of the human mind and comparing it directly to artificial intelligence. It's a topic that is literally packed with hype, fear, and honestly, a ton of misunderstandings. So what exactly happens when a machine thinks? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to have a crystal clear, first principles grasp of what each system is actually doing behind the scenes.
Okay, let's just jump right in and tackle a huge misconception right off the bat. We constantly talk about human intelligence and AI as if they're the exact same thing, just, running on different hardware. But let me tell you, they absolutely are not. Mixing up the tool, the behavior, and the actual kind of intelligence driving it, that is where almost all of our confusion comes from. Think of it kind of like comparing a human cook to a really fancy kitchen appliance, right? Both can technically produce a meal, but one of them actually understands the context, the goals of the people eating, and the cultural meaning of the food. The other, it just flawlessly follows a beautifully designed mechanical sequence. If you judge that cook and the appliance by the exact same standard, you completely miss what makes each of them uniquely valuable. We really need a totally new way of seeing this.
So, here is our roadmap for unpacking this massive topic today. We'll be covering 1. The intelligence confusion. 2. What is intelligence? 3. The human engine. 4. The AI engine. 5. The grounding difference. And finally, 6. Real-world collisions. We're going to move step by step from those core definitions all the way to seeing how these systems actually bump into each other in our daily lives.
All right, let's hit section 1, the intelligence confusion, separating the cook from the kitchen appliance.
To really clear up this confusion, we need to establish a sort of anchor concept for today. Intelligence is not just one single thing. It's not some magic substance or a glowing orb of smartness sitting inside a brain or a hard drive. Rather, it's a combination of several different distinct abilities all working together to handle uncertainty. And once you realize that intelligence is actually made up of interchangeable parts, comparing humans and AI becomes so much easier.
Let's move straight into section 2. What is intelligence? The core machinery of thinking. If you take away just one compact definition from this entire explainer, please make it this one. Intelligence is the ability to build a useful model of a situation, predict what matters, and adapt your actions toward a goal under uncertainty. Think of it like trying to navigate a crazy, bustling city without a fixed map. It's all about making useful decisions when your information is totally incomplete and the environment keeps changing around you. Now, to successfully navigate that city, any intelligent system relies on a specific set of core features working together. You've got goal-directed adaptation, you need an internal representation, kind of like how a chess master sees the entire board strategy, not just the isolated pieces. You need prediction, like anticipating that a glass is going to tip over right before it actually falls. You absolutely have to learn from feedback, like quickly adjusting your grip after accidentally touching a hot pan. And finally, you have to compress all of this information to work within the constraints of your system. Both humans and AI use these exact same tools, but the way they deploy them, vastly different.
Okay, section 3, the human engine, intelligence as lived control.
Picture human intelligence like a pilot flying a passenger plane right through a massive storm. They aren't just sitting there processing altitude and wind speed data, right? They literally feel the turbulence in their gut. They read the instruments, they hear the physical strain of the engine, and crucially, they deeply care about the safety of the passenger sitting behind them. A human mind is a living control system. It constantly integrates sensory input, memory, emotion, and bodily states all at the exact same time. The human is, quite literally, inhabited by stakes. Emotion isn't just some buggy side feature of our intelligence. It is a vital, absolutely crucial part of the control system that shifts what we prioritize in real time.
Symmetrically, let's flip over to section 4, the AI engine, intelligence as learned pattern transformation.
So, if the human is that stressed-out, caring pilot, what exactly is the AI? Well, it's an incredibly fast, highly capable autocomplete engine. It processes inputs and transforms them based on massive, massive statistical regularities that it picked up during its training. It doesn't wake up, it doesn't want anything, it doesn't fear, and it certainly doesn't hope. Now, it can string together learned sequences brilliantly, whether that's writing complex code or composing a beautiful poem, but it doesn't care or feel the stakes the way our human pilot does. It simply models the shape of the data, completely disconnected from any actual lived meaning behind it.
Which leads us straight into Section 5, the grounding difference, why real-world context changes absolutely everything.
Honestly, this brings us to what might be the single most important idea in our entire explainer today: grounding. Grounding is exactly what gives humans our deep common sense. We connect language to reality through physical, lived experience. A human learns the meaning of the word rain by actually being outside, getting totally soaked, and feeling that cold air on their skin. An AI, on the other hand, learns grounding through statistical relationships among millions and millions of text descriptions of rain. It can map words to other words flawlessly, sure, but it will literally never get wet. And this is exactly why AI can sound incredibly fluent, yet suddenly miss a concept that would be painfully obvious to any grounded human.
Because of this fundamental difference in grounding, their strengths and their failures are completely symmetrical. Think about it. Humans generalize super quickly from just a few meaningful lived experiences. I mean, you really only need to touch a hot stove once to learn that lesson, right? We adapt strongly in novel, messy, totally unpredictable situations. AI, however, requires mountains of data. But it absolutely excels in highly structured, repeatable tasks that would exhaust a human in minutes. And naturally, their failures look totally different too. Humans usually fail because of bias, or fatigue, or maybe overconfidence. AI? It shows brittleness, or it completely hallucinates facts because it just lacks that physical anchor to reality.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, real-world collisions, when humans and AI work together. Let's see how all of this theory actually builds into a practical, everyday scenario. Imagine a colleague, let's just call her Maya, needs some help replying to a really tense, aggressively worded email from a coworker. She asks an AI for help. Now, the AI quickly cranks out a beautifully structured, perfectly balanced draft because it flawlessly detects politeness markers and corporate email patterns. It's great at that. But only Maya actually feels the sting of reading that original email. Only Maya remembers the messy 3-year interpersonal history she has with that specific coworker. And only Maya actually cares about the social risk of what's going to happen tomorrow at the office after she hits send. The AI is operating on a purely mathematical representation of the situation. Maya? She has to live inside the consequences.
So the next time you're evaluating an intelligence system, or maybe someone tells you that AI thinks exactly like us, don't just ask yourself if it's smart in some vague general sense. Instead, ask yourself this exact question: what pattern is being completed here, and what grounding is actually missing? Asking yourself that will instantly help you see the real difference between a machine that fluently generates output and a human mind that truly understands the stakes. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I genuinely hope you never look at intelligence in exactly the same way again.